for me, once again, when we talk about football, if you don't have that highly talented individuals, you do think, that you have pairings, players who work well together. And these two, for me, right now, I think in tandem, I think they are the best in the competition.
Okay, we're going to turn our attention now to the other Group F match coming up now, and that sees the two-time champions Guangzhou Evergrande. They're going to Australia, down under. They're up against Melbourne Victory, who have lost all 3 matches. However, I have to say Melbourne Victory have a terrific record at home against Chinese sides. They have 4 wins and 1 draw in their last 5. So this is the match coming up at 7:30 in the Hong Kong time zone. Now, that said, they have a good record against Chinese sides, but given that they lost to them, 4-0 in the last game, do they really have it in them to try to reverse this?
Never say never.
Never say
but
never.
I think, it's going to be incredibly difficult for Melbourne to pick up anything really from this game. I think Guangzhou are starting to come into a nice little bit of a run of form, a good run of form. Talisca has been so impressive. He's driving games for them. He's winning matches for them. He came to their rescue against Shandong in the CSL, picking up the winner in the 95th minute of that match. And we've seen his quality in this game against Melbourne Victory as well. I mean, just superb ability that he has, the goal-scoring ability. And I was a big fan of Talisca when he was at Benfica. Then when he went over to Besiktas and now he's in China, there's no doubt in my mind that this is a player capable of going back to Europe and making an impact there. So I think with the changes Melbourne have made to their squad here, I think they'll find it a little bit difficult.
Okay, Melbourne Victory, of course, no wins, no points. Let's hear from their manager, Kevin Muscat.
Well, given a lot of changes tonight, some of the big names are out of the team this evening. Does that mean your focus is on the A-League?
Oh, look, that could be one obvious perception. My focus at the moment is purely on tonight. Yes, we sat down and calculated and made decisions based on the whole raft of things. But tonight's a great opportunity for a lot of the boys.
Okay, taking a look at this Melbourne lineup, a couple of missing names there, big names, Roshan.
Yeah, look, they started with a very strong lineup in the first meeting between these two sides. Here they've rested some big-name players. You'll notice Keisuke Honda is missing, James Troisi is missing, I think he has a hamstring issue, Toivonen is missing, Barbarouses is out as well. So they've left out their big guns, and that's why I said earlier they're going to struggle a little bit. But it's an opportunity for some of the fringe players here to show us what they can do and prove something to Kevin Muscat, perhaps.
Okay, well, Guangzhou Evergrande, obviously the favourites coming into this match against Melbourne Victory. Let's hear what their manager, Fabio Cannavaro, has to say.
What are you expecting from your opponents tonight? They've made quite a few changes to their team. It's a very young team tonight for Melbourne. What are you expecting from them?
Even if they change some few players, tonight will be a tough game for us because we don't play at home and always is difficult to play outside. But for us tonight is really important to try to get 3 points because if we want to go forward in our group, we need to win one game outside.
So Guangzhou Evergrande, the two-time champions, talk us through this lineup, gentlemen.
Oh, well, it is interesting because Talisca gets to start, which means that, it is a statement of intent. Paulinho, I thought, ran the longest on match day 3 compared to anyone else. Tyus Browning, I thought, had a steady game. I wasn't sure about him on match day 1 and match day 2. So having said that, yes, they've got enough in there, with the experience of Gaulin up front as well. Huang Bowen in there, so there's enough. I would say that there's a nice mix, with the local players and the foreigners.
Well, Talisca scored twice in that 4-0 win against Melbourne in their last meeting. That's brought his goal tally to 4 in 3 games. Roshan, take us through his touch map. I mean, how does he create these opportunities for himself?
Yeah, well, he gets himself involved. He got that freedom to move about the park here. And you can see the goals that he scored. 4 goals in those 3 appearances, 9 shots total, 44% conversion rate. That's an excellent conversion rate. Really high technical quality. A difference maker, game changer, match winner for Guangzhou.
All right, so Guangzhou Evergrande, they are 4-0 winners over Melbourne Victory 2 weeks ago. Can they repeat that? Stay with us, find out.
When it comes to the English game, the conversation never rests. Amazingly, it's now Guardiola who's having to play the mind games.
You have to play football with a hard press.
It would feel pivotal come the end of the season.
To come back from that nasty injury, you know, that's going to take time.
It feels like it's going to happen. Enjoy Eden Hazard whilst you can.
The world is in our hands. We got to do something with it. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Do or die time for Melbourne Victory as they look to extend their participation in this year's AFC Champions League. Win today and they live to fight another day. Lose and their continental dreams end abruptly after just 4 matches. Standing in their way are none other than Guangzhou Evergrande, 2-time AFC Champions League winners and perennial contenders at Asia's top table. Delighted to say once again that Fox Sports football analyst and pundit, the venerable Jamie Reeves, is with me in the commentary booth ahead of this key match in Game 4. Jamie, it's a big game for both sides, but for the hosts, if they're to continue any part in this competition, it's absolutely vital for them, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a funny group, this one. There've been 6 games so far. 5 of them have been won at home, and only one's been won away from home. And it's that away game which went the way of Daegu against Melbourne Victory, which results in the table as it stands. Melbourne have lost their 2 away games, but they lost their home game as well, and that's why they're in their desperate position. And they'd be forgiven if they took their eye rather off this competition and focused on domestic form. But having said that, they're Aussies, they're competitive. It's a big game. Guangzhou are a big name in Asian football. They'll want to get a result tonight.
They certainly will, and like you say, 3 games played in this year's AFC Champions League has brought 3 defeats for the Victory, including that 4-0 thumping in Guangzhou's Tianhe Stadium on match day 3. But Kevin Muscat's side and their fans can take great heart from the knowledge that they have an excellent record against Chinese sides at the Melbourne Rectangular Stadium. In 5 matches in Melbourne against Chinese Super League opposition, they're yet to taste defeat, winning 4 and drawing 1, including a victory against tonight's opponents 2-0 back in 2014. Now, it's going to be a tough ask, Jamie, but they have to take heart and confidence from that home record against Chinese sides.
I think they will. I mean, Kevin Muscat will be taking encouragement wherever he can find it. I'll be frank with you, the result last time around doesn't give source for much encouragement. 2 dreadful goalkeeping errors and actually all-round outplayed up and down the pitch. But it's another day, it's another game. They're at home, they have got a good record, and they'll be trying to get off to a good start. They've got some youngsters coming to the side, and they'll want to impress. They weren't part of the heavy defeat, so they're not clouded, they're not overshadowed by that. But having said that, I'm trying to make a case for the home team. I still think these will be the more happier group of supporters, those in red.
Absolutely. Looking at the stadium there, it does seem that the Guangzhou fans will outnumber their Melbourne opponents quite considerably. And of course, Melbourne home to a significant Chinese population. And everywhere they do go in Australia, Guangzhou do tend to take large numbers of supporters. They do have a mixed record in Australia, 2 wins and 3 defeats in their 5 matches played there to date. Jamie, why do you think they've struggled somewhat? Would it be down to the physicality perhaps of the A-League side, or is that too simple to suggest?
I think there may have been a time when that might have been an issue, but I don't think that's it these days. I do think that the Aussie teams play a slightly different style of football from the rest of the Asian sides. They come from a different cultural background and play a slightly different brand of football, and I think that upsets the Guangzhou a little bit. I think Guangzhou are happier playing against Korean sides, Japanese sides, Southeast Asian sides, where they're very familiar, very similar style of play. So maybe that's something to do with it there. And physicality, yeah, it could be. The crowd could be something. Generally the conditions there. Sometimes the pitches are a bit bumpier, a bit drier than they're used to normally. But Guangzhou is such a good side. I'm surprised that they struggle on their travels at all. And as this group has progressed, as the things have moved along, Guangzhou are beginning to look like a very good unit.
I'll be surprised if they're troubled by the crowd at the Melbourne Rectangular Stadium tonight. It doesn't look like there's going to be an awful lot of home fans, which is something that's happened with Australian teams in the AFC Champions League, which is a real shame. It seemed to have embraced it as fully as others have across the continent. Players there just in the tunnel as they're about to make their way out onto the pitch. Now, victory against the victory could prove important for Fabio Cannavaro's side, given how little separates themselves and the other two top sides in this group. As you said earlier, all three 6 points from the opening 3 games, following 2 wins and a defeat each. And it looks to be set to be a fascinating battle to see who emerges from the group and into the round of 16. And despite their poor record in Australia, Fabio Cannavaro can turn to one of the standout players in this season's competition, Anderson Talisca, who has 4 goals in 3 games, including a brace against the victory on match day 3. And he's going to be very much the star attraction, I think, at the Melbourne Rectangular Stadium tonight, Jamie.
Oh, unquestionably. I think he and Hulk are the standout characters, both Brazilian players. And both have got this ability that on their day they're tremendous free spirits and they can do things that other players can only dream of. Then on the day when it doesn't work for them, they just look like loose cannons who are spoiling the whole team. But you can afford to have the odd loose cannon in your lineup. In fact, you need somebody who's going to do something a bit different. If you have just a whole bunch of workmen like that, if you had everyone like Paulinho, it would be too predictable. And Paulinho and Talisca, both Brazilians, but they're opposite ends of the spectrum. Paulinho, you know exactly what you'll get. Box to box, work, terrific work rate, covers the ground beautifully. Talisca, wonderful athlete, fabulous touch on the ball, can disappear, can be so frustrating, but when he gets it right, it can be exquisite.
And that's it with players like allowing the odd off game, knowing that they can win you a match in a heartbeat any other occasion. Here both teams come out of the tunnel and onto the Melbourne Rectangular pitch. Kick-off not too far away. Now, if you're Kevin Muscat, you've got the difficulty of coming up with a plan to try and stop Anderson Talisca. How do you think he's going to go about that?
That's not an easy one, to be honest. I think Kevin Muscat's got a lot of problems tonight. He's spoken somewhat evasively about how much they're going out to actually win this game, but they won't want to be humiliated, that's for sure. And I think the thing with Talisca is that if you give him room, if you give him space, then he's going to hurt you. So you do have to get close to him. You've got to make it so that he's not enjoying himself. So that means that when he gets the ball, he wants someone clipping at his heels all the time. Maybe giving away a few free kicks, nothing too dirty, don't get any yellow cards, but just don't let him play, because if you do, then this fella can really hurt you.
There is very much the man of the hour, Anderson Talisca, there going down the line. And here's some team news for you from the Melbourne victory, and they've made 6 changes from the team that were thrashed 4-0 on match day 3. One of them enforced, with James Troisi dropping out with a hamstring injury, but the others seem to be a tactical selection from Kevin Muscat, who seems to very much have his eyes focused on the upcoming A-League playoffs, which get started in just a couple of weeks' time, and that's kind of understandable, I guess, Jamie.
Absolutely, you can't disagree with that at all, and you can see what he's doing there. He's giving some of his younger players an opportunity, and that's a good thing. A starting lineup which includes 3 refugees, which is unusual. Elvis Kamisoba, Kenny Atiu and Thomas Deng, 2 from Sudan and 1 from Burundi, and it's nice to see these guys getting a chance in professional football. Good luck to them.
Yeah, very much so. As you said, it's quite an inexperienced lineup, but this will be a chance for some of them to make names for themselves on the biggest stage in club football in Asian competition. And the Guangzhou Evergrande side is exactly the same as the team that put 4 past Melbourne victory on match day 3. Fabio Cannavaro making no changes whatsoever. Again, as he said, the focus of attention very much on Anderson Talisca, but plenty of other talented players in that lineup as well. And interesting to see Tyus Browning, the former Everton defender, lining up at the back for his 4th appearance in the 2019 AFC Champions League.
Yeah, he seems to be establishing a partnership with Park Ji-soo in the middle of the defence. Lots of very familiar faces, of course. Chan Lim-peng rampaging down the right side. Gao Lin, who seems to have been there forever. Hwang Bao-wen, who'll be playing the anchor role in midfield, who will release the talented players in front of him. He Chao is another one who drops a little bit deeper so that Paulinho, Talisca and Gao Lin can get forward in support of Yang Liu, who is actually kind of taken over the striking role and has made things a little bit easier for the creative midfielders or attacking midfielders that like to play in just behind a big man.
And just seeing the first glimpse of the two coaches, first up Kevin Muscat and then Fabio Cannavaro, a man who's won it all as a player and looking to do likewise on the continental stage with Guangzhou Evergrande. And as we get closer and closer to kick-off, I guess they will start the game as favourites given the amount of changes that the Melbourne Victory have made. And we can see Kenny Athieu, one of the refugees that Jamie just mentioned a few moments ago. Huge fella. And we'll be looking for him to cause a bit of trouble in the penalty area. Anderson Talisca offering up a final prayer before kick-off, and we're underway with Guangzhou kicking in from right to left in the red shirts and white shorts. Melbourne Victory in all blue from left to right. The first early touch there for Paulinho. It's given away as the ball makes it forward to Kenny Athieu. And he gets the first run at the Guangzhou defence. It's Paulinho that makes the recovery tackle at the expense of a corner. So an early chance for Melbourne to put some pressure on the visitors and throw a few bodies forward into the penalty area. So you see a big cluster of Guangzhou Evergrande fans congregating behind the goal there in their bright red jerseys. It will be the set piece coming in from Jai Ingram, and it's headed towards and just tipped over the bar. That should be another corner, and it is. Storm Rue, the wonderfully named fullback there, with a deft header, just tipped over the bar by Liu Jianzhu.
Well, he completely loses his man, who's Paulinho, I think, who let his man get away.
And in comes the second corner. It's just about dealt with by Guangzhou, and they earn themselves a free kick and give them a chance to clear their lines.
I wonder if that opportunity will settle things down for Guangzhou, because very easy for them to come into this game thinking they've already won it. They've won 4-0 against the same team at home. They feel that their opponents aren't really going 100% all out for this, but you've still got to get up there, you've still got to win the game of football. And Cannavaro knows that better than anyone. But he's got to get the team going.
Yeah, if that might have got rid of any complacency from the visitors. It's Talisca on the ball, already being hounded by the Melbourne Victory midfield players. Retains possession, and Park brings it out and finds Gao. The first touch for Tyus Browning, from England under 21 international. Back with Park.
Park Ji-soo, the latest in a long line of Korean central defenders who played for Guangzhou. Seems that there's a ready production line of great central defenders. This fella seems to have been there forever. Chan Lim-peng.
Guangzhou getting plenty of early touches, lots of early possession, as you might expect. A side with such a positive record so far in this season's Champions League against the Melbourne side, who, as we said, made a lot of changes from their previous defeat. Pretty inexperienced lineup. There's Gao. It's forward for Yang. Marshall there by the Melbourne defence, forced to come back. Here's Talisca. Just touched away from there by Jai Ingram.
It's pretty clear that Melbourne are playing a fairly defensive lineup here. Kenny's playing on his own up front. Got 5 strung across midfield, and even Kenny drops back and helps out.
Every single Melbourne Victory player currently in their own half. And if things continue like this, they could be in for quite a long night. Park once again, plenty of early touches. Just Little overhit there as he looked for Zhang Lingpeng. Couldn't quite keep it in play. And Melbourne will look to ping out from the back with James Donachie. And that's disappointing. He could be in for a long night if they're unable to make simple passes like that. Corey Brown, who had a bit of a difficult night in the reverse fixture a couple of weeks ago, find himself coming up against Anderson Talisca again. We'll be hoping to perform a bit better this time round. Here's Park. Guangzhou content to just knock the ball around slowly, take their time in possession. Nice little flick there from Talisca. Yichao can't quite keep the ball in touch.
But they've settled into a nice rhythm now. I think maybe that early opportunity that went against them might have been just the thing, as you said, to trigger Guangzhou.
It's Carl Valeri, the Melbourne Victory captain, who's retiring at the end of the season. This will be his last campaign in the AFC Champions League. He'll have one more home game to come in this competition before he hangs up his boots for good. We'll be hoping to get a couple of positive results between now and then. Park once again seeing a lot of early possession. Melbourne, as we said, content to just sit back in their own half and try and keep Guangzhou out, but could prove to be a tactic that doesn't bear fruit. In a talented side, plenty of possession, plenty of opportunity, but Guangzhou will have to work hard to break them down if this opening 5.5 minutes is anything to go by.
I think Guangzhou will try and make the pitch as big as possible, stretch them wide on both flanks, and also gamble on Talisca doing something that's a little bit different.
So far, yet to really threaten the Melbourne Victory goal. Lawrence Thomas back in the starting lineup after missing out the previous game, that 4-0 defeat. Probably glad to have missed that one, to be totally honest. Brown looking forward for Kenny Atiu. And his side a throw-in. Not a terrible crowd in the stadium, actually. Looks like a lot more fans than perhaps we anticipated. And they'll be hoping to see a positive result from their side, who've struggled in this competition so far this season.
I think a lot of the home fans will have wanted to have a look at Guangzhou and see just how good they are.
And they get the opportunity to do so firsthand. Still standing by, been for a little bit of a long night. Here's Paulinho.
Well, I think it's likely to be a very long night for the Melbourne team and for their fans. But they have to break it up in chunks, get through the first half hour without conceding.
Here's Elvis Cansoba. Diminutive figure. Recycles possession well. Here's Deng. Corey Brown. Melbourne happy to take their time winning possession as well.
Yeah, it's good. Get as many touches on the ball as they can. Yeah, quite. Yeah. It's exactly what they need to do.
Deng once again. And that's a nice little play. Here comes Brown. Space to run into. He plays the ball into the box. It's found that's all the way to the back to Elvis, but bustled off the ball there by Gao. But he's not giving up. He's got a little bit too excited there, and ultimately concedes the free kick. Gao remonstrates with the assistant referee on that side of the pitch. But that's going to be something that gets the Melbourne fans excited and into it.
Absolutely. There's nothing we like more than a little fella taking on the big guy. Elvis Cansoba, all 1.64 m of him.
Very tenacious down by the corner flag.
That's about 5'4", isn't it? Bless him. He really did scrap in there.
Yeah, and that'll give encouragement to the fans. At least willing to see that their side are happy to put the effort in and try and take it to their more vaunted opponents. Paulinho. Yichao. Talisca again. Again, Guangzhou happy to take their time. Plenty of possession in the early exchanges. And Park once again, I think with the exception of the Guangzhou goalkeeper, pretty much every outfield player, every outfield player now currently in the Melbourne Victory half. And here's Browning.
Fullbacks pinned very high up the pitch. We see so much of that these days. Manchester City, of course, play like that.
Liverpool too, and Talisca now the opportunity, but just can't quite bring it under control.
Wouldn't quite sit down for him.
Once again, Melbourne Victory coming under quite a lot of pressure. Corey Brown able to clear the lines. But the ball comes straight back again. Here's Gao Lin, the captain. Nice little ball inside. Gao. Toward the far post. It's comfortable there for Lawrence Thomas. And just approaching the 10-minute mark. A lot of early possession for Guangzhou Evergrande. But it's Melbourne Victory who've come the closest to scoring. A header from Storm Roof from the early set piece. Almost careless in possession there, almost gifting it back to Anderson Talisca, but gets away with it. It's Donachie. Back to Donachie again. Finds the wonderfully named Storm Root. Here's Kamsoba. Neither side particularly finding their rhythm yet, Jamie.
No, I think they haven't really established exactly where everybody should play in the front third of the pitch. We've seen Gao Lin as the furthest forward on occasion.
Ball played in once again, looking for Kenny Antiu. It's headed clear, and Paulinho can lead the Guangzhou Evergrande attack out. Progress halted there from by Josh Hope. Doing his defensive duties very well, something bound to please his manager.
I think Carl Valeri and Josh Hope have got to have big games for Melbourne. Obviously the defence will be under pressure, but those two playing essentially defensively minded games in midfield will be the ones needing to compete in the midfield with the likes of Paulinho.
Careless play there from Gao Zhenyi. Melbourne Victory in throw-in. There's Valeri. Once again, Melbourne Victory enjoyed a bit of possession, but most of it so far has come inside their own half. Now they've got a chance to try and create something. Looking forward to Antiu. It's not a bad effort on the run. It doesn't test the goalkeeper.
But again, very encouraging. It's better than anything that's come from the away team so far. Nicely flighted ball, and you can see what he's got in mind there. He's trying to just help the ball over the out-rushing goalkeeper. Didn't get the angle quite right, but if that loops in towards the far corner, that could easily have been number one.
Perhaps got maybe a little bit too much on the header, and couldn't quite direct it the direction that he wanted. Again, more sloppy play there from Guangzhou. Something that's bound not to please Fabio Cannavaro.
Yeah, I don't think Cannavaro will be very happy with the way they've started at all.
And on the flip side, Kevin Muscat will be pretty happy with the way things have gone so far, given the changes they've made and the inexperienced lineup that he's gone for. Enjoying themselves a free kick.
A little bit laboured, the work from the Guangzhou players at the moment. Lacking a little bit of zip.
And there's Paulinho once again. Tyus Browning. Park once again. Arguably the man who's touched the ball the most in the opening 13 minutes. Nothing going through him so far. As Guangzhou start out from the back, happy to take their time. There's Taliska once again. Good tackle by Valeri. It just seems a little bit sloppy at the moment, Jamie.
Yep.
The side are able to do well with possession once they have it. So here's Storm Roux. He's looking for Elvis. That's well marshalled there by Park.
Jian Chao in goal. Of course, normally expect to see Teng Cheng in goal for Guangzhou. I'm not sure I've ever commentated on them when he hasn't been playing before, but he's out of things at present. But I don't think Liu's going to have an awful lot of work to do tonight.
It would seem unlikely, but he has been the busier of the two goalkeepers so far to make that important save in the opening exchanges. And Elvis Conserva earns his side a free kick. Gao Lin, the guilty man. And here come Melbourne once again. There's Jai Ingram. Chance almost opened up. Nice little touch there from Kang Soba. So actually not quite on the same wavelength. Probably just a little bit too overhit anyway. Especially if you consider that in the reverse fixture they're already 2 goals down inside 10 minutes. This is basically everything that, perhaps barring a goal, everything that Kevin Muscat would have hoped for.
Yes, I said earlier, break the game up, maybe half hour at a time, but might have even said, let's get through the first 15 without conceding. Then we take the next 15. First target achieved. Make yourself feel good about what's happening out there.
It's interesting to consider. I guess that's normally a tactic you associate with the away team rather than the home team.
Yeah. Yes, very true.
Silence the crowd after 20 minutes and then hope to build from there. But when you're up against one of the biggest teams in Asian football, it's a little surprise that this, like we said, is very much changed. Melbourne Victory team consider themselves the underdogs in this fixture, despite their excellent record against Chinese sides. But they're more than holding their own in the opening 15 minutes. Just as I say that, Guangzhou close to creating a chance, but again, once easily dealt with by Lawrence Thomas. Fairly tidy in possession there, Melbourne Victory. Don't seem duly stressed when they have the ball.
Yes, they're not just thumping the ball up the pitch and regrouping to defend again. It's not defence against attack. They're genuinely part of the game. Good luck to them.
Sober finds Josh Hope. The chance open for Antonis. That's kept out by Liu. Didn't look overly comfortable with it. Paulinho there using his experience to win. Decide a throw-in.
Oh, Liu in goal there, not too happy with the defence, and I'm not surprised. Got a good strike away there, Antonis. Haven't really seen much of him so far, but decent strike, that one. Swerving a bit.
They have just taken a slight deflection, which made the save a little bit more difficult for Liu. And again, more encouragement for Melbourne Victory. Gao Lin, Paulinho, Gao Junyi. Tyres Browning once again. Again, most of the Guangzhou Evergrande outfield players camped in the Melbourne Victory half. Gao Junyi. Again, the ball finds its way to Park. And his central defensive partner, Tyres Browning.
See, again, you can see what they're doing. They're taking the ball right out to the byline, try and stretch the defence, try and pull people out of position.
As things stand, Melbourne doing a good job in keeping them at bay.
Well, I'm sure Kevin Muscat's had them working very hard on the training ground, keeping their shape. They've played overload training where you have an excess number of forwards and the defenders having to pick up players making runs. But as you quite rightly say, they are looking after the ball reasonably well when they get the chance.
Kenyatta there, just offside. Had that chance earlier, little half chance.
Which is a half more than their opponents have had so far. Guangzhou had no chances really.
No, it's been a slow build-up, a slow opening 20 minutes or so for the visitors. Plenty of possession, not created anything with it so far. There's the Melbourne Victory had a couple of efforts. Guangzhou forced to make a couple of saves already. Lots of Keisuke Honda, Kostas Barbarouses, Ola Toivonen, all missing. James Troisi too, out with a Yi there. Small and tenacious.
Yeah, he's certainly shown plenty of that quality. A lot of tenacity from Kamsoba. He's got the look about him that he'll keep that up for 90 minutes very happily.
Yeah. Great work ethic, great name.
Yep, and big defenders hate that. You know, you're much better off here playing up against a big guy that you go toe-to-toe with, but a little fella like that who keeps snapping at your heels, pain in the butt.
Root finds Atieu, brings it down nicely. Hope comes sober. Dink one in there, headed clear. And as we approach the halfway mark in the first half, Melbourne will be happy with their work so far. Nice interception there from Gao Junyi. Kept the visitors at bay, created a few opportunities, and looked largely comfortable out there, must be said. And we've not seen a lot from Anderson Talisker either. So
absolutely not. Had a couple of poor touches on the ball so far.
Here he is once again. As you said earlier, capable of creating something out of nothing. Wang Boen finds He Chao. That's a lovely ball across. There's Paulinho. Saved there by Lawrence Thomas. First save he's had to make in the match. Does so comfortably.
Yeah, a little bit more direct from Guangzhou there. And of course we are complimenting Melbourne, but it can all change in just a moment. A little bit of magic from Talisca and there can be a goal to the good.
Just seemed to be a little bit more pace in that attack there from Guangzhou.
Yeah, it looked a bit laboured so far, but that was a bit sharp, a bit crisper.
Just well dealt with it. Oh, it seems a little unfortunate there for Storm Room conceding the free kick from Gao Lin. Seemed like he dealt with the situation pretty well. The referee decided otherwise.
I thought that was very harsh. Let's have a look again.
Don't see what he could have done differently.
I can't see he's done anything wrong at all there. Yeah. Neither can he.
Yeah, he looks utterly bemused by the decision. But the free kick is given. He'll be in a dangerous position as well. Chance for Guangzhou to throw the likes of Park and Tyus Browning forward. Victory fans unhappy about the fact the free kick was awarded there. Wang Boen will take it. Talisca proving to be costly.
And I'm sure Guangzhou are furious about that for two reasons. First of all, they felt that Talisca was had his foot hooked and it should have been a free kick. And secondly, that they lost concentration just after they've scored. Let's have a look if there's any contact there. No, he's just lost his footing on the ground. He's appealed for it, but there was no contact there. Excellent decision from the referee and a really nice finish from Ingham. Here he goes.
Yep.
No contact, no one near him at the time.
Lost his footing on the surface. Gallin's attempted clearance falls straight to Ingram. And an unerring finish from the young man. And we're back on level terms. Well, we said the floodgates might open, we just didn't expect it would perhaps come from Melbourne Victory.
Yeah. And that's a cracking finish from Ingham.
1-1 now. 2 goals in just about 2 minutes.
Splendid. Got to be happy with that.
Absolutely. I'm sure Fabio Cannavaro probably less than impressed by his side there. So that's all still to play for. Careless in possession again there from Park. Kenyatta wins his side a free kick.
And look at the body language of the men in blue at the moment. They all want the ball. They're all dead keen to play. This is great fun now. This is better than it was at 0-0 because you had that disappointment of going a goal down, and now you've got a goal against the big guns. You're going, hey, we can play against this lot. And I know it's a cliche about Guangzhou, but we've been saying it for donkey's years now. They always give you a few chances.
They certainly have done so far. The Melbourne fans are enjoying the fact that their side are now level. And so on his side a throw in. Nice little flick there from Root. Larry, the captain. They've got to be careful now not to overplay things at the back once again. You'd like to think they learned their lesson from conceding that opening goal. No, perhaps not. That's nicely done from Antonis. Turned away nicely from his man. And here's Kampsova. Chance to run at Gal. Antonis wins his side a free kick. It's a throw-in.
Good work from Terry Antonis again there. He's quite caught the eye. He's looked very comfortable on the ball.
He's now putting pressure on Paulinho, surrounded by 2 Victory players, and comes away with a throw-in. Excellent play from the Brazilian. I guess there's a possibility, Jamie, that when you have a young, inexperienced side, they think they've got absolutely nothing to lose, and they go out there and actually put out a good performance.
Yeah. Well, so far, I think it's the other coach who'll be the happier of the two.
And once again. Browning. Oh, careless in possession. Just about wins it back. It's a little fortunate there. The ball's played in. Looking for Talisca. And he's put it wide. And that is a shock. Expect a man of his quality to be finishing off chances like that.
That's a super ball then, isn't it? Absolutely delightful quality of the cross. He got 3 against 2 in there. He comes through and he's taken it off Gowlin's foot. Gowlin's thinking, I had a tap in there, but surely Talisca should have scored.
A big let-off there for the victory. Things remain 1-1. And that's another strangely given free kick. Didn't seem to do an awful lot wrong there, Josh Hope.
Well, I'm amazed. I may be proved wrong if we see a replay of that, but I thought he came in and took the ball cleanly and ended up with Park Ji-soo kicking him. There, he's got the ball. There's nothing wrong with it. Park Ji-soo's just kicked his foot.
Yeah, Victory considered himself pretty hard done by with that one. The ball in a good attacking position. Just over half an hour gone now. The ball around the corner, but just evades Yang Ling-peng.
I'm not suggesting it hasn't hurt Park actually there. When you do kick your opponent's boot like that, especially if you get the underside, really painful. These days the boots are so soft and the blades are fairly abrasive. But this is brewing up nicely as a game, isn't it? You know, we've had half an hour now. And Melbourne will be delighted. They're still on level terms. OK, they need to win tonight if they've got any chance of progressing in this tournament. But I don't think that's really uppermost in their minds. So first things first, let's put out a good performance. Let's not embarrass ourselves.
Yeah, they're certainly not doing that at the moment. Acquitted themselves very well in the opening 31 minutes. So Muscat will be pretty happy with what he's seen. Aberration at the back aside. Here's Antonis. Nice little switch of play for Hope. Just overruns it slightly and concedes the free kick. Referee proving quite whistle happy so far. much to the bemusement of some of the Melbourne Victory players so far.
Yeah, I think the referee may feel that there's the potential for this game to boil over a little bit. Games between the Aussie teams and the Chinese teams can be a little bit combustible, so I think he's keeping a very tight rein on things. If in doubt, he's blowing the whistle rather than giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Park once again. He's the beneficiary of one of those slightly soft free kicks that we've seen in this first half. Not too long ago.
You can see that 4-5-1 for Melbourne again, can't you?
Yeah, their shape has been pretty good so far at the back. Donachie. And their regular players at the back as well. Melbourne happy to drop off once again. Now on level terms.
It's another slip on the surface, isn't it?
Yeah, a couple of players have gone down. Just need to check the length of the studs at half-time. And another free kick given away there that didn't seem an awful lot in it.
Gao Lin was suggesting that maybe he was having his shirt pulled there.
Whatever it was, the referee spotted something. Get a replay of it here.
Oh, that's a soft one.
Didn't seem a lot in it once again. Gao's ball in, dealt with once again by the Victory. They clear the lines. Guangzhou will start again with Park. Huang Boen, the goal scorer. For Guangzhou Evergrande. Gao Zhengyi. Huang again. Plays a key role in this Guangzhou Evergrande side. It's a lovely touch there from Zhang Yingpeng. To get the cross in. Taliska recovers the ball, whips it in. The shot's in. Just about dealt with by Lawrence Thomas. A little bit more pressure there from Guangzhou, but Melbourne dealing with it reasonably comfortably. Once again, insisting on playing out from the back.
Guangzhou not quite so sharp with their pressing high up the pitch there.
Really looking for Kamsoba. It's a little overhit and dealt with by Gao. Looks like it'd be a largely lonely night for Liu Jianzhou in the Guangzhou goal. Well, he has had to pick the ball out of the back of the net. Good finish from Jianghan. Just a little over 10 minutes remaining in this first half. Melbourne Victory 1, Guangzhou Evergrande 1. Huang Boen giving the visitors the lead. And then 2 minutes later, Jianghan making it one apiece. And once again, sloppy play from Anderson Taliska.
At the moment, he's having one of those evenings, isn't he, Taliska? Really, not much has gone right for the mercurial. I think we overuse that term, but I think it applies in his case. When he's good, he's outstanding, but actually when he's not, it can be awful for the team, because it looks like he's just giving the ball away.
Yeah, it hasn't been his night so far, slipping in the build-up to the Melbourne Victory goal and missing that chance a few minutes ago. But with any player of his standard, his quality, capable of doing something in the blink of an eye, and Melbourne certainly can't afford to keep their eyes off him. There's hope. Comes into trouble in the shape of Paulinho.
He just shrugged him off at the end there. I think Paulinho's going to win that battle. He's a bit lacking in pace, Josh Hope. That's his problem.
Performed fairly well so far in the opening half, though. And that's well defended by Thomas Deng.
Actually, he's had a good half, Thomas Deng, I think.
Interesting, we haven't seen a lot of Yang Liu, the striker for Guangzhou.
Well, Gao Lin's been pushed forward as the most attacking player for quite a lot of the half. You can see him there, the number 29, the captain. he's playing as the focal point. Talisca come over to the left, Paulinho in the middle, and Li Yu over on the right-hand side. I thought I was expecting to see Li Yu more as the target man.
That's you. Talisca seems to have left his right wing to come over to the left to see if he can get a little bit more joy out of Storm Roux and Elvis Kamsoba. Wonderfully named right-hand side for Melbourne Victory.
Yes. Yeah.
Here's Valeri. Antonis. Corey Brown. Once again. Carlin leading the press. Doing it largely on his own. Kamsoba can't find hope. Browning for Guangzhou. 37 minutes gone. Approaching half-time. I think you'd have to say that the Melbourne Victory probably were happier of the two sides, given the nature of the performance so far.
Absolutely crucial that they get through to the half without conceding again, I think. They really want to go in at half-time feeling very good about themselves.
If they can go over the score as they are, I think it's safe to say they probably would. Sober intercepts the ball there. Once again looks to run it back into the Guangzhou half. Paulinho once again recovering possession. He's not overly happy with the rest of his teammates, must be said. He's been the driving force for them largely in this first half. Galvin. There's the free kick. It's probably the first one in a while that definitely was a free kick. Sloppy play for Antonis. Can't really have any complaints about that.
Had a good half though, Antonis. Done a lot of good work for his team.
Just having a chat there with the referee. I don't imagine what they would have been talking about, but seemed amicable enough. Talisca might fancy this one. Huang also over this. Goal scorer for Guangzhou.
A little bit of a set two in the middle there.
Well, a slip as well. Valeri hitting the turf there. Couldn't see who took it, but it wasn't particularly good. I think it might have been Everton Talisca. Yes, it was. High, wide, and not very handsome as his difficult game continues.
Just about sums up his first half, doesn't it? Just about nothing's worked for him. Of course, he's quite capable of going out and scoring 2 goals in the second half and being the hero. Scored 2 goals at the weekend for his team. Scored 2 goals in the first leg of this, so he's got goals in him.
Yeah, 6 goals in his past 4 matches. Disappointment for the Guangzhou fans, the Melbourne Victory fans not being shy and telling them what they thought about his free kick. But the backwards in coming forwards when it comes to a sly dig or an insult, Aussie fans.
Oh no.
Just over 4 minutes to go until half-time plus stoppage time. Galvin offside.
Confirmation spot on. To be honest, in real time it didn't look like he was offside at all, but excellent work from the officials.
Here's Ingham again, the goal scorer for the Victory. In for Atiud, but his pass was intercepted. It's a pass from Talisca. He tried to set Zhang free. Doesn't reach out. Either way, pass was intercepted. It will be a free kick to the Victory.
They want to be a bit careful with the half approaching. Don't want to go too gung-ho, pushing forward too many men. They have kept a lot of bodies behind the ball, as you've pointed out.
Thomas gets us back underway. Without you. Nice flip on from Taliska. Palhinha looks for Gowlin. Well dealt with again by Thomas Deng. He's been given away possession there. Gowlin. Well shielded by Valeri. Zhang Lingpeng. Alan Turnus. And it's a wayward ball into the box. It'll go out for a goal kick to Melbourne Victory. Puts his hand up in apology. Disappointed with himself there. It'll be Thomas to get us back underway. Taking his time. No real surprise with half-time approaching. Melbourne Rectangular Stadium looking a sight under the lights.
And there's a good amount of noise, isn't there? It's got a good atmosphere.
Yeah, plenty of noise being made in the stadium. That's been a pretty decent game, it's fair to say. Started off a little bit slow, but burst into life just after midway through the first half. Those 2 goals in a couple of minutes. Guangzhou wins himself a free kick. Kenyatta a little bit clumsy with the arms.
Kevin Muscat's clearly not let himself go since he quit playing football. Long spell with Wolves in the UK.
Still looking in decent shape. I'm sure he probably didn't fancy pulling on his boots and having a game out there himself. I'm pretty sure the Guangzhou Evergrande players wouldn't like him pulling on his boots and having a game out there either.
Ooh, the body language from the away team not good at the moment.
He's cutting a very frustrated figure, isn't he, Taliska? Nothing really gone right for him so far.
Well, the way they're playing, with Gowlin essentially playing in the number 9 role, for a number of years now, Gowlin's been playing mainly on the right-hand side, fairly wide, while they've had one of the Brazilians playing through the middle. And I think that's worked fairly well. Now they've pushed Gowlin forward. I don't think he can do it. I don't think he'll play centre forward for them at this level.
Not really had a huge impact on the game so far. We approach the last 30 seconds before half-time interval. Any time added on. It's another free kick given by the referee. Park once again. Pitch out to Browning. Task has now moved his way back over to the right-hand side. Hope we get a bit of joy out of Corey Brown. And 1 minute of time added on at the end of the first half. Melbourne Victory 1, Guangzhou Evergrande 1. And despite for all the possession that Guangzhou have had, it's been a pretty even opening 45 minutes, Jamie.
Yeah.
Victory will be hoping they can get into half-time with no further goals added. It will be a corner to Guangzhou. Deng the man getting the final touch, getting out of play. Wang Bo, and the goal scorer, will take this set piece, and have to imagine this will be the last activity of the first half.
Good delivery from Wang Bo, generally speaking.
With the likes of Taliska and Paulinho in the penalty area. It's well headed clear from Hope. Well show start by Elvis Kamsoba. And that is that. Half-time at Melbourne's Rectangular Stadium. It is Melbourne Victory 1, Guangzhou Evergrande 1. Wang Bowen giving the visitors the lead. And then his goal was counted out by Jai Ingham as we head into the half-time interval. All square, Jamie Reid.
Well, I think Kevin Muscat will be desperately keen to get in there and give his players lots of encouragement, whereas I think Fabio Cannavaro got a lot more work to do.
Yeah, very much so. Will not be overly happy with his side's display in the first 45 minutes. Plenty of work for them to do. Still 45 minutes to come.
Melbourne Victory may be bottom of Group F, but they're holding their own at home against the two-time champions, Guangzhou Evergrande. A fairly balanced affair going into the break. We'll be back with a look at the first half highlights, and we'll give you an update on what's happening over in Jakarta in that AFC Cup game between Persija and Ceres Negros.
What good is fast Wi-Fi when it is not optimized? The truth is, Wi-Fi is only better when it's built just for your home. Whatever your house size is, there is coverage in every room. Better Wi-Fi doesn't slow down, no matter how you use it and how many people you share it with. Wi-Fi experience made better. Maxis Fiber Nation, built for you.
Fox Sports FC, a show that strips football to its core.
Very exciting.
It separates fact from fiction.
Juventus are dominating, but they get pushed.
Breaks down the major plays from all over the football world.
Bundesliga stands out.
With experts who look beyond the results.
You really drive this self-belief.
For a complete breakdown of the beautiful game. Join the club with Fox Sports FC. Mondays and Fridays, live on Fox Sports. Sunday, UFC Fight Night. Submission specialist Jacare Souza takes on power striker Jack Hermanson. Live, Sunday, on Fox Sports.
There's been drama, minute after minute, every single day. What is going to happen? Brace yourselves, folks, strap yourselves in, lock the front door, turn the phone off. Because this is going to be absolutely crazy.
I still think about the night your mother and I had to leave you. But then Scott showed up, everything changed.
Dad, what are you saying?
I think it's possible to bring your mother back. Oh boy.
Let's fly!
I'm not gonna hurt you unless I have to.
Ant-Man and the Wasp premieres April 27th on Fox Movies.
This Paulinho, and he's pulled it back. It's got to be a goal. It is a goal. Huang Boen put Guangzhou 1 goal to the good. It's a chance for victory. It could fall to them here, and it's its win. Melbourne hit back straight away. Jai Ingram.
Well, it is 1-1 at the Melbourne Rectangular Stadium between Melbourne Victory and Guangzhou Evergrande Victory, fielding a very young side tonight against the two-time champions, showing absolutely no signs of stage fright, as you can see. So, a very entertaining first half over in Melbourne. We've got 2 goals so far. Guangzhou Evergrande taking the lead, but Melbourne pulled it back level just 2 minutes later. We're going to have a look at the goals. Let's have a look first at the goal scored by Guangzhou, and it came in the 24th minute. Huang Boen, right place, right time, but really it was the assist by Paulinho that set it up, Chevy.
It is Paulinho once again setting the tone in terms of work rate, and he does really well. You know, he's had a very, very good first half, maybe not so effective with the ball, but off the ball he's worked hard, and here I mean, if you go past 3 defenders like that, you know, that's always a good thing, but he has got the awareness. his eyes on the ball, he's got the awareness to cut it back, and Bowen shows a lot of composure on that finish.
So really no surprises to see Guangzhou Evergrande taking the lead against this young Melbourne Victory side. But 2 minutes later, the hosts would pull level, and it would start with a slip by Talisca right here. He goes down and hands possession back to Melbourne, Roshan.
Yeah, he's looking for the referee to blow his whistle there to get a free kick to get him out of trouble, because he knows he's messed up. He slipped here under pressure from Thomas Deng. It's picked up then in midfield, and they take advantage of a moment in transition there as Guangzhou look to push forward, and it's a good finish in the end from Jai Ingham.
Jai Ingham playing in his first Champions League match for Melbourne Victory this season. Stunning goal by him. But Guangzhou, while they had a very slow start to this match, they picked it up later in the first half. A couple of chances here. We've spoken a lot about Paulinho. He had a great effort here, Chevy, saved by the keeper.
Yes, once again, you know, appearing in a striker's position and having the composure, the touch and the awareness of what's going on. I mean, look at him, almost in a central striker's position, gets to the ball before Thomas Deng, and a good save. Maybe the choice, you know, of shooting at the near post was more hope.
8 minutes later, Guangzhou had another great chance. Talisca should have done better, Roshan.
Yeah, I think so. You know, what they do really well there, Guangzhou, is they get lots of bodies in the box. Going to overload in the center of the goal, right on the 6-yard line there, the 6-yard box there. It's a bad miss from Talisca. Players of his quality should be putting that one away.
But it was Melbourne Victory who really applied the pressure. They stepped on the gas from the first whistle, and really in the first minute might have had a goal. Storm Rue here with a great header.
Yes, they showed confidence, and you know, especially when it comes to set pieces, it's something that you've worked on in training, and it's good to see that they've gone close. So you know, efforts in training do look like paying off. But here, I think it's very interesting because it is Park Jisoo. I think, yeah, it is Park Jisoo who gets a bit of a touch on Atiu just before Atiu makes contact with the ball, Rosh.
17th minute, we had another attempt. This one from long range. Terry Antonis, great save.
Yeah, there's plenty of power behind that strike from Antonis, and I like how Melbourne are actually approaching this game. You know, they're playing up from the back. They are building up really well in possession. It's about making the right decisions in possession of the ball. I don't mind playing out from the back at all. It's not a matter of overplaying. It's making the right decisions when they are playing out, so they can break Guangzhou's press. And they've shown throughout that first half that when they do make the right decisions, they do get in behind Guangzhou quite well.
Well, the Chinese side obviously went into this match as the favourites. They're still the favourites, but Melbourne are doing well. They're holding their own, aren't they? What's impressed you about this side?
Well, the aspects that they have brought to this game, its intensity basically, and also the shape that they're showing defensively has been absolutely superb. Now, I'm just going to show you two examples of two different phases of defending out of possession here. You can see when they have to defend a little bit deeper, they get nice and compact, they drop off, they protect the space in front of the penalty box. And it's just about doing the simple things and doing it well. You've got one pressing the ball, you've got another player here just dropping off to cover space. But the moment Guangzhou shift it, you're going to start to see Melbourne's defenders pressing up there. So you've got these nice little basics being sorted out. Push, apply pressure, force the ball backwards and sideways, and then you've got Atiu there just dropping off, making sure that Guangzhou can't progress the ball through the middle. We'll play it on, comes out onto this left-hand side, and then the shifting once again. Just pause it there. You see a player coming out to engage, Hope comes out to engage. Here, look at this player dropping off into that position. Antonis just blocking off that pass into Paulinho. It goes across, and then the closing down once again. Goes into the wider areas, that's your cue to go and close down. Use the touchline against him, and then you just force Guangzhou sideways and backwards, no progression through the middle. Force it back, close him down. Valeri there doing a great job, and eventually they force Guangzhou all the way back into their own half. Now this one here is a different phase, a different type of defending. I like to call this counter-pressing, because they're in a phase where they're attacking, but they don't back off. So they go down this left-hand side. Guangzhou managed to win the ball back, but look at Melbourne. They don't drop off, they don't back off. They go and win it back again. Have a look at this, closing down over the park, and in midfield you're going to see Thomas Deng closing off the option into Talisca, forces the error here, wins it back. And because you've got this moment of transition where you've got Guangzhou's defenders there pushing forward, trying to support the attack, they take advantage of that transition, of that disorganization, and Melbourne Victory get their reward with a goal. It's just absolutely fantastic, the flexibility they're showing defensively.
Absolutely super match it is. Melbourne Victory holding their own against the two-time champions. 2 goals so far in the first half, but we've got 5 goals over in Jakarta in an AFC Cup match. This one between Persija, Jakarta and Ceres Negros. Ceres, of course, top of Group G. They haven't lost the match here, but they conceded a penalty here in the 19th minute. Fair enough. Roshan, he goes down, and Bruno Matos steps up for the penalty.
Yeah, I think it's a sloppy challenge there. It is a penalty, but it's a horrible penalty from Matos in that situation. Well done to the goalkeeper for guessing the right way, but it was a poor penalty. They
would take the lead, though, Persija. 49th minute with Sandy.
Well, like I said, set pieces do play a big part, and especially from a corner kick that you've practiced, good finish. But this one, for me, I mean, it's just sloppy defending because it is another set piece. It should be man-to-man marking. No chance, for Matos to find himself in so much space. But what a comeback, Roche, from Ceres Negros.
Miguel Tanton, though, would get one back to make it 2-1. And then, in the 85th minute, Maranon would make it 2-2.
I mean, this is great work by Schrock here. He looks like he's going nowhere. Has to cut back onto his right foot. And then it goes into the box. It's a lovely finish by Maranon. And Chevy touched on comeback. Have a look at this one, Colette. Once again, Schrock down this side. Plays it into the box. And how about that for a finish? Mike Ott. 90 plus 3, huge 3 points for Ceres. You worry about Persija Jakarta there.
That is simply amazing. 3-2 Ceres Negros over Persija. We are going to take a break. When we come back, we'll head back to Melbourne for that match between Victory and Guangzhou Evergrande.
Challenges keep coming. I keep rising to them. If dandruff keeps coming back, I have Clear Men. New triple anti-dandruff technology. Activate scalp to remove, resist, prevent dandruff. For 100% confidence, clear and recurring dandruff.
If we do this, we'd be going in short-handed.
Yeah, you mean because he killed all our friends?
We owe this to everyone who's not in this room to try.
It's not about how much we lost. It's about how much we have left. We're the Avengers. We gotta finish this. You trust me? I do. You could not live with your own failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me.
Coming to cinemas. When it comes to the English game, the conversation never rests.
Amazingly, it's now Guardiola who's having to play the mind games.
You have to play football with a hard press.
It would feel pivotal come the end of the season.
To come back from that nasty injury, that's going to take time.
It feels like it's going to happen. Enjoy Eden Hazard whilst you can.
Welcome back to Melbourne's rectangular stadium for this Group F clash between Melbourne Victory and Guangzhou Evergrande. 1-1 at half-time. Hwang Bo-en giving the visitors the lead after 24 minutes, only for Melbourne Victory to strike back almost immediately as Giant Ingham levelled things up just a couple of minutes later. All square at the break. Jamie Reeves is alongside me. Jamie, would have to say that Kevin Muscat will be the happier of the two coaches after the opening 45 minutes.
Yeah, by some considerable margin, I would have thought. Rather lacklustre performance from the home team. The away team. And Guangzhou, we expect a lot more from them than this. And to be honest, they had one good chance for Talisca, and that was about it. Whereas the home team has looked quite dangerous on occasion. I think this fella's acquitted himself well. Kenny Attiu up front has shown a great attitude. He's made himself available, had a little header on that could have done a bit better with, but he's led the line well. Discipline's been good, organisation has been good. This fella's been disappointing for Guangzhou, and I'm sure Cannavaro will be encouraging his troops to go out there and play a lot better second half.
Yeah, certainly was a frustrating opening 45 minutes for Anderson Talisca. He missed a great chance to put his side further in front, and also it was his slip that proved costly in the build-up to Melbourne Victory's equaliser. But it is the home side, Melbourne Victory, that get us back underway, kicking from right to left in the all-blue kit. Guangzhou in their famous red jerseys with white shorts. We'll be hoping for an improved performance in the second 45 minutes. And for Melbourne Victory, I guess it'll be a case of doing more of the same. It's nice intercepted there from Thomas Deng, who had a very strong opening 45 minutes. It's Elvis comes sober and Storm Root to start things for the Victory once again.
Yes, Guangzhou have started the second half with a reshuffle. Gao Lin's gone out wide to the left, and Yang Liyu's come into the central position, and Talisca's come over to the right-hand side. I wonder if they'll stay with that. They just really don't seem to know what's their best formation up front.
Yeah, we saw Talisca move across to the left-hand side at one point. Gao Lin go up top, and
but it didn't work, did it? Then it doesn't look to me like the dynamic quite works between those four creative players.
Yang Liu was largely anonymous in that opening 45 minutes, and Fabio Cannavaro will be hoping for a lot more from him in the second half. It's Paulinho, who's pretty influential, the assist for the opening goal for Huang Boen. There's the goal scorer, back to Paulinho. As far as Browning. Still looks pretty relaxed though, Fabio Cannavaro. And we were saying earlier about Kevin Muscat looking in decent shape. Cannavaro looks like he could definitely still go out there and do a job.
Shave his head and he'd be back captaining Italy again, wouldn't he?
2006 World Cup winner, Ballon d'Or winner as well. There's a chance for Guangzhou. It's dealt with by Victory. Sober completes the clearance, and Kenny Attiu earns his side a free kick, which will allow him to relieve some of the pressure. Well played by the big striker, using his side to good advantage there against Hichao.
I think that was a free kick that Kenny was very pleased to get. Hichao seemed to be quite happy to give him the opportunity to go down.
It was just about kept in there by Gao Junyi. It was dealt with well by the Victory defence. This is James Donachie. It's for Jiangan, the goal scorer. Took his chance very well in the first half. 26 minutes. That goal when it's done. It's Corey Brown. Antonis, who had a good first half himself, just overhits that pass slightly. England can't keep it in. It will be a goal kick to Guangzhou Evergrande. No changes for either side at half-time. Teams lining up as they were at the start of the match. Just that tactical reshuffle that Jamie mentioned, with Yang Liu going up top once again, and Gao Lin going wide. Zhang Lingpeng back with him again. And once again, this pattern of Guangzhou being happy to build up slowly from the back continues. Pitch out.
There you go, 5 blue jerseys across in front of the back four, and lone striker just ambling across. No high press, giving your opponents their half of the pitch, and only challenge him once they get to the final third. Yep. Very dodgy throw in there.
There's been a couple of those as well. Once again, the referee choosing not to penalise them. And the only Liu Jianzhao, the only man who's not in the Melbourne victory half. And for the score staying the same, we might see that a bit more. Here's Paulinho once again, dealt with by Deng. A very good 45 minutes, and the clearance is made there by the captain, Valeri. Let's hope. Nice little skill there from Kamsoba. Just overhits the path towards Atiu. Nice little play there between Zhang Lingpeng and Paulinho. Once again, it was dealt with well by the victory. Talisker uses his size very well. And look to touch it inside Corey Brown and earns his side a free kick. The referee seeming to give that one, despite the close attention of the assistant referee. And once again, Talisker shaking his head in frustration. It hasn't been a great night for him so far. He's still got plenty of time to rectify that. 40 minutes of the second half remaining. And it will be the Brazilian to take his free kick.
The nice thing, if you are one of these prodigiously talented footballers, is that you can have a bad half and you can come out and do something wonderful, and that's all everybody will remember. Debatable free kick, that one.
And once again, the soft awarding of a free kick, but it will be Talisker to take it. It's headed behind by Deng. Concede to the corner. Guangzhou thrown plenty of men forward into the box as they go in search of this second goal. The Melbourne victory fans taunting Anderson Talisker there, shouting what a waste of money. I'm sure they'd be delighted if they were able to spend 19.2 million euros on a player themselves. They wouldn't complain. And it's headed clear by Kenny Atiu. Browning the furthest man back. Curious that he didn't go forward to attack that set piece. It's played in towards Paulinho.
I think Paulinho should have had a touch there. Could have brought the ball down. Nobody was that close to him. Tried to help it on, but didn't really seem to get any contact on the ball at all. Some other dodgy throw.
Well, it's been a good spell of opening pressure at the start of the second half from the visitors. They're hoping to build on that. Let's go inside to Zhang. Cross is just headed out. Valeri completes the clearance. And once again, Kenny Atiu earns inside a free kick. Let's have a bit of forward play, Jamie.
Well, he hasn't got much going for him, Kenny, there, but there's a little bit of a link in the arms. Goes down. Referee, as we said earlier in the game, seems to be keen to give the decision always, rather than risk letting things boil over a little.
Corey Brown, Antonis. That's a lovely bit of crossfield switch there for Kamsoba. He's going to attack Gao Junhee. Still Kamsoba, still going. Seemed to run a bit down a blind alley there. Victory still have it. Donaki to Storm Roux. Antonis once again. Looking for Atiu. Nicely taken down on his chest. It will be a goal kick.
He took it on his chest well and then made a poor choice, really, because in that position I think he's got to wait for support. There were two other players fairly close to him. Hold the ball up, lay it off. He's got one on the outside, one on the inside.
He's going to have to go some to score a chance from there.
Quite. Whereas Josh Hope was coming in, homing in on goal. Could have just held it, just rolled it to him.
But once again, positive build-up play from Melbourne victory. It will encourage their fans, as well as the players and Kevin Muscat. He just reminds Guangzhou that they won't have everything their own way this second half. This time the referee awards the free kick against Gao Lin. Doesn't look very impressed. He looks a little bit bemused by the decision. And there have been one or two strange decisions from the refereeing team. Donachie. Thomas Deng, who's looked pretty impressive so far tonight. Back in possession again. Thanks Valeri, he's kept things ticking over nicely in midfield. Back on the ball once again. Sober. Aggressive challenge there by Guangzhou. It's just a throw-in. Once again, Melbourne Victory starting the half in confident fashion, Jamie.
Yep, they. I don't mind them passing the ball around this far up the pitch. It's when they do it in their own final third that they worry me a bit more.
Anderson Talisca appealing for the free kick from the assistant. Nothing coming. She's now haranguing the fourth official as well. Gowlin. Yeah, I think he had a case on that occasion.
You can see what he's complaining about. He's right there.
And foul once again. Players will have to be careful. Starting totting up these free kicks now.
Valeri doing good work as the skipper, just going in, trying to quieten things down a little bit. Corey Brown getting a little bit over-enthusiastic in the challenge.
Talisca there saying, intimating that's the second time in just a few seconds, referee. And that was clumsy from Brown. A bit of a retaliation there afterwards, it seemed. Might have just been his momentum. Yeah, clumsy challenge there. No, raises his studs up towards his face.
That was retaliation.
Ball played in. It's a chance for Paulinho. The referee's whistle goes. There's an offside. Thomas Browning, the former Evertonian. To see where the offside was there.
I think it was the first pass actually. So all that scramble in the goal area didn't actually amount to anything.
Jerry concedes the throw-in. Suggesting to the referee that he took a blow to the face. Some of the Melbourne Victory players warming up.
It's substitute time coming up, isn't it? As we approach the hour mark, it's usually when the first of the subs come on, unless there's injury.
Very inexperienced subs bench. Going to be making their first appearances in the AFC Champions League. It's kind of sober, to hope. Donachie. Melbourne once again taking their time in possession. Nice little touch from Cam Sober. Antonis. Finds Ingham. Wide on the left. Sloppy pass there. Puts Corey Brown under pressure. And I think that's probably worth keeping an eye on, the running battle between Anderson Talisca and Corey Brown. Jamie?
Yeah, it's quite a spat brewing up there. Talisca trying to get some revenge.
We'll keep an eye on that one. Here's Antonis. Finds Ingham. Up against Zhang. The ball just ran away from him then. Concedes the free kick.
I think he took a little bit of a wild swing at the ball there, Ingham.
Didn't look happy with the referee's decision, but just there, he's lost control of the ball and just a wild swing in the air. Can't really have any complaints. Neither side overly happy with the referee so far, but apart from the odd couple of soft decisions, he hasn't really done anything wrong, the official. Reach out. Well hustled there by Antonis. Guangzhou also happy just to take their time in possession. Melbourne maintaining their shape very well. Once again, every single man back behind the ball. Once again, Talisca gives away possession. Thomas plays it out, giving towards Kamsoba, unsurprisingly beaten not once but twice in the air there.
I don't think there's anyone on the pitch that Kamsoba can beat in the air.
Well, we will have our first substitute of the evening. And it will be Yu Hanqiao, who's the man who's about to come on. But first, seems like we'll have this free kick from Guangzhou. Wang Bowen to take it, the goal scorer. 30 minutes to go. Goes long towards Tyus Browning. He kind of gets in the way of Anderson Talisca, and it goes behind harmlessly for a goal kick. So we will have our first substitution. I'm trying to see the number that's gone up there. Is it Park Ji-soo that's coming off? No, it's Gowlin. Couldn't quite see the number in the lights there of the Melbourne Rectangular Stadium. Captain Gowlin comes off to be replaced by Yu Hanqiao.
I don't think we're going to be seeing Gowlin for very much longer, you know. He's had a very successful career with the club. He's been their long servant, done very well, but he's looking his age now.
Better days are past him. It's well defended there by Tyus Browning. Earns a side of free kick. Watch the frustration of the Melbourne Victory fans. Certainly didn't agree with the referee decision. Neither did Kevin Muscat. No man, no stranger to hearing a referee's whistle, must be said. There's a little bit of a push there, but also there's a tug on the shirt by Browning.
It's a little bit 6 of one, half done on the other, but in those situations, the referee usually favours the defending side.
It's a nice ball played out there by Browning. First touch for Yu Hanqiao. He's crowded out, well defended there. Comes over, completes the clearance, although it will come straight back towards Melbourne Victory. Corey Brown is following Anderson Talisca everywhere he goes. The Brazilians get very frustrated with the close attention. I think we might be about to see Corey Brown go into the book here.
I think a yellow card for persistent fouling.
Certainly 3, what 4, Anderson Talisca is making the point. It looks like he's got away without picking up a yellow card. Perhaps a little fortunate, Corey Brown. You should imagine if he commits another foul, he'll have to go into the referee's book.
At least that's one more that he can get away with, isn't it?
Yeah. Browning once again. Park striding forward. And once again, Melbourne able to keep their opponents at arm's length. There's another foul there. It looks like we will get our first booking of the night. Storm Roo picks up a yellow card. He'll walk a bit of a tightrope from now up until the final whistle. Not been booked so far in this year's competition.
I think that's his team that got him booked there, haven't they? There's one foul too many. Referees decided got to get the yellow card out.
Corey Brown does need to be careful. He's committed a lot of fouls on Anderson Talisca, and he is on a yellow card. He will be suspended if he picks up another one. Yu Hanqiao will take the free kick. He's been looking to pick out one of his teammates in the box. Cleared there by Roo. Expense of a throw-in.
That's a very poor delivery, isn't it? Really gave nobody in his own team any chance whatsoever of getting to that ball.
again, Guangzhou Evergrande attack amounts to nothing. Melbourne will look to clear their lines. Roux with a throw-in. Getting closer to the midway point of the second half. No real efforts on goal of note to speak of. Jamie?
And the clock's ticking by. Guangzhou will really be looking at this thinking we've got to get 3 points here.
That's right, it is very competitive at the top of the group. They will be looking for 3 points to take them up to 9, give themselves the best chance possible of progressing through to the knockout stages.
Well, if they win their home game then they're through, aren't they, with 12 points.
Yep, there's Taliska. It's a bit of skill, but once again, Melbourne managed to clear their lines. There's a chance for Kenyatta to try and test his speed against Tyus Browning, the former Evertonian man, more than capable of winning that race. Wang Boen, the goal scorer, with Guangzhou the lead in the 24th minute. Finds Yang. His effort not comfortably dealt with there by Lawrence Thomas, at the expense of a corner.
I think he decided to go for that quite late. I think, from my point of view, it looked as if it was going a bit wide of the post, but couldn't take a chance.
It's the first real involvement from Yang Li-yu, who's been largely anonymous so far tonight. That might give him a bit more confidence.
Well, Han Chao's a left winger, so you'd think that Li Yu is certainly going to be continuously playing as the centre forward from here on in.
Once again, the referee not happy with something. Corner comes in. Well headed clear. Taliska was charging onto that one. It was comfortably dealt with by the Victories. Back in, headed out by Donachie. Storm is able to pump the ball downfield. I'm curious to see the fact they are leaving Tyus Browning back when they have corners. I expect him to be a man they might look for in the penalty area.
Yeah, they quite like Gao Tunyi at the left fullback. He comes forward and he's pretty good in the air. He's a big fella, but I would have thought Browning would have come up.
Zhang Peng. Hichao. Paulinho has taken the captain's armband following the substitution of Gao Lin. Wang Boen, the goal scorer. Here's Taliska. Guangzhou fans looking for some magic from him, but he's given the ball away once again, and his frustrating night continues. And without any space for Corey Brown, he's chasing back, doing defensive work. Unfortunately for the Melbourne Victory side, but it was a poor pass from Kenyatta, and he looked pretty frustrated with himself there. We'll get a second substitution. Hichao coming off, been replaced by Yan Ding Hao. So Guangzhou with only one substitution left to make. Melbourne Victory at this stage haven't made a substitution. Just over a little way over the halfway point in this second half. And we're still all square, 1 goal apiece. Wang Boen giving Guangzhou Evergrande the lead. Jiayin cancelling it out just a couple of moments later, just around the halfway point of the first half. Here comes Hu Yanqiao. Paulinho is hustled out of it once again. Kenyatta this time does find his man. And then the goal scorer, to Valeri, the captain. Josh Hope. Just looks to switch it, but intercepted by Zhang Lingpeng. Here's Taliska up against Corey Brown once again. Here comes Taliska inside his man.